Welcome, LoveLine.
With Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Would you sleep with sick women?
I may be pregnant, but I'm still a man.
Spank the unruly ones.
It's indecent, it's vulgar, it's blasphemous.
I'm gonna ride you till you can't stand up. Come on, let's go down. All right, keep your shirt on.
LoveLine's meant for an adult audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Here's LoveLine with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Yes. Phone number for LoveLine, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Tonight, our guest is the fabulous Poe. Hi, Poe.
Hello, Adam.
Thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
Truly one of our favorites here on LoveLine.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys are my favorite, above all creatures.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
totally.
Well,
Especially now that you're like TV stars.
Yeah, that's right. You got to come out with the movie as soon as you finish Coffee and Donuts.
Coffee and Donuts is well underway. I know you don't believe me, but it is.
Last time
The
Poe
slang dictionary has a lot to do with
was
it.
in here. When were you in here last?
I haven't been here in a while. The last thing we did was the television.
Oh, okay.
Or-
About a year ago, huh?
About a year, yeah.
The TV was about a year ago?
Yeah.
And then the radio was...
Before that.
Oh, boy. Man, too long.
Yeah.
You live in town, don't you?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Oh, well, what's
It's
up
been
with
long
that?
enough. I was driving behind her. They got lost coming over here. They turned around in the middle of Washington.
Yeah, and he didn't flag us down, did he?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Hey, here's something comical, by the way, and then we'll get back to Coffee and Donuts. For anyone who listens to the show with any consistency, they know I constantly talk about Drew's the hurry he's in when he leaves the show.
Right.
And I mean, people think I'm kidding or you're using some sort of hyperbole when I say that when he leaves the LoveLine parking lot, he launches himself out onto the street and he catches sparks.
I noticed little jet engine things on his shoes.
You can hear, he's like the FTD man that way. You can hear the car hit the pavement when Drew leaves at about 12:02 every night. And Drew, what part of your car did you recently have to have replaced?
The front airfoil.
The front of the car.
Yeah.
Right under the air dam there.
Yeah, the air dam. Yeah.
And what did the guy think? That you'd gone off-roading or turned off Mulholland?
I wondered how I ripped it in half. I couldn't quite figure it out myself, but it happens all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Is that, really?
Yeah.
Other doctors hosting other shows, trying to escape their
Trying to
past.
make me feel good.
Running from his past. All right, so now Coffee and Donuts was an idea that Drew and I pitched to Poe last time she was in here.
Dream
No.
on.
It was her idea all the way.
So this is why you're so successful, Adam.
Wait a minute
rip
now.
it apart.
Wait a minute. Who came up with the
She
Coffee
did.
and Donuts
She did.
name?
I can't. Oh
No.
my God, my.
Thank
you came
you.
up with the names of the characters after she came up with the name of the series.
Well, wait a minute.
Exactly.
It's a crime show, right?
It was all her.
I love Dr.
Drew,
Drew.
stop
Yes.
kissing guest
it's true.
ass. It is so
Am I not-
pathetic.
am I not-
You are absolutely right. Coffee and donuts came out of my mouth, and
No.
you then
I know where-
consumed them.
All you did was
caffeinated out of your mind, became deluded that it was your idea.
all you did was cast Drew in the role of Coffee. You didn't create the role. You just simply cast Drew in the role of it.
What's the difference? I
Coffee
said
and
it's an
Donuts is
action
my
team.
concept.
Oh, I
Please.
love this. This is great on air. Okay, let's fist fight.
All right.
No lawyers
all
allowed.
Regardless of whose idea it is. Coffee and
It's
Donuts.
okay. I agree that it was all inspired by you two. So same thing.
Okay, so have you done any work on it? This is an action cop buddy movie that we're working on where Drew plays Charles Coffee, an uptight coroner or forensic medicine specialist. One of these guys who wears a bow tie. Tell me if I'm deviating from
You
the
better not
script
tell him
here.
anything because he may claim.
No,
when you write
no.
it, he may claim he wrote it himself.
Dr. Drew is everything that he really is, which is a well-dressed,
Right.
very in control, extremely articulate,
Right.
sexy man. Right? And you are an extremely deranged,
Thank you.
overbearing, unbelievably funny,
Yes. There.
extremely sexy man. And the two of you, come on, admit it. Ever since you've been on TV, you guys have started. You know, you look a little more buff.
Right.
You're looking a little more.
I've been eating more.
You both look like movie stars. So I think we're ready for the answer to the Howard Stern tragedy. And we need to create sort of
Have you
an LA Confidential of radio
any,
talk
Have you
show,
done any
guys.
work on that, Paul?
I've been working hard. Thank you, teacher.
You have, but you have no manuscript for us tonight.
No, for that we'd have to talk to a lawyer.
Yeah, but that's the way you've stolen our ideas so
All
far.
right, but
Of
the
course
point
she's
is,
going to hold it close
you're
to her
Charles
chest.
Coffey. I'm Joey Dinetti. I'm a tough,
Right.
streetwise Chicago cop who you could argue with the methods, but you can't argue with the results. You know what I'm saying? Where
He plays by his own rules.
I play by my own rules, and Drew goes by the book. But we're paired together for some reason.
And there are many roads to Rome.
Right, and this is.
So I think the caller in question should be somebody Roma.
What are you saying?
We're going to have a caller.
Oh, we are.
We're going to start. No. I mean, we're going to the movie.
Oh, I see. It's gonna
You're
be.
going to be a radio dude, and then
art
you're going to have
imitating
to
life.
turn into a very, sort of like a street CIA.
No, you haven't thought this one out.
I have thought it out very carefully.
Let me go ahead and
No,
plug.
wait, I'm not done yet.
All right.
Okay, and we're going to have to base the first scene of the movie on a call that comes in tonight. So the calls better be fairly creative.
All right, we'll see if that first one won't get us launched in that direction. Let me give a few plugs here for you. Great Expectations is the name of the movie, which is coming out when, Poe? Do you know?
It's coming out, I believe, in February.
And that's Gwyneth Paltrow and
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Robert
and,
De Niro.
Ooh, that's going to be a pretty big movie.
Anne Bancroft, yeah.
And you're on the soundtrack.
Yes.
And also we have Loungeapalooza,
Right.
which is, by the way, the soundtrack's out now, right? Even
The
though the
soundtrack
movie's not out
is
yet.
out now.
And what about Loungeapalooza?
Loungeapalooza was a disc made celebrating all that is lounge. It's on Hollywood Records, and it's a bunch of different artists doing lounge songs, some of them classics and some of them originals. And the one that I sung is called A Rose is a Rose, and my brother wrote it.
Oh, so it's just in the lounge genre, but it's not like an old standard.
No, mine's actually an original.
Right. And we got Witchcraft and Wichita Lineman and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we'll probably hear something off of both of those as the night wears on. Drew, you have a call?
I did, but I just changed it.
Come on, Coffee.
Right.
Donut's getting soggy. Nicole,
Hi.
you're 19.
Yes, I am.
You're
Hi,
on with the
Adam.
fabulous Poe.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hey.
Hi, Poe.
Hello.
How are y'all tonight?
Good.
Survive.
Okay, this question might sound a little weird, but let me tell you what happened. My ex and I got together like a week after we were, not like a week after we were together, but after a while that we were together. We had sex like 26 times in a week. And toward the end of that week, it was like the vaginal opening started to like close. And we tried having sex one night, and it like really, really hurt. And he like barely could get it in, and I was just wondering what could cause that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
I can hear him talking.
You're really sore.
After we had sex a whole bunch of times, my penis got real wide. Does the vaginal opening close,
No,
Drew?
not
You
without.
get swollen.
But,
Yeah, it
though.
but
can
I
get
mean,
swollen.
it felt like it did.
I understand. It gets swollen and get very inflamed, and the muscles can spasm around the outside, and that's all what's happening here. You shouldn't be doing things that are harming yourself.
26 times in a week, so it's about like 3.8 times a day
Right?
for a week.
It was a good four times a day.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't
Was it-
even take Sunday, my people's Sabbath, off?
No.
No. All right. Spit in the face of the
All right,
Almighty
so
by
you
doing
take
that.
some warm baths. Give yourself some time. Use a lot of lubricant next time.
And where had he gone? Was he in Desert Storm or something? Where? How far away could you go that you have to have sex
It was just we were together.
28
just
times in a week? Hmm?
He went away because he was in the army. He went away, and then I
Oh,
went to
Army. See?
then I went to go see him, and we just couldn't keep our hands off each other.
I don't think you have any problems.
Thank you.
Just don't overdo it.
Okay.
All right. So where is he now?
Oh, we broke up.
Oh, then you do have problems.
And
Problems probably with intimacy because you're having sex when you should probably be discussing other things too.
yeah, I'll go for that. Nicole,
Mhm.
you said you broke up, and then when you sort of reunited, that's when you had the.
No, we broke up like a year ago. This happened like a year and a half ago.
How do you
Oh, okay.
How do you feel? How did you feel when you were apart from this guy?
I missed him. You know,
But you weren't shattered or anything.
I just missed him.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
Why does this concern you now, a year and a half later?
because it's happened like one time before, after that, and I was just wondering what was going on.
Irritation.
Okay.
Okay.
Just lots of friction.
Do you get regular pelvic exams?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And everything's okay anatomically?
Everything's cool.
All right.
Okay.
Good
All right,
luck.
Nicole.
Take
Bye.
care.
Oh man, I don't know if I've ever had sex 28 times in a week.
I didn't know you had done that in your life.
Oh boy, Drew. Don't embarrass me in front of Poe. You know she looks up to me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Little
Yeah.
tension since you
That's what I
kicked us
like.
out of here when you were in your important interview.
I had a very long
been a-
night last night. First off, because I got this puppy. And you guys saw the puppy.
Yeah.
Last night was the first night
I want you to remember that that's not a human, and that I have 3 of them.
at home. Oh my God.
Okay.
But first off, this
First off, your little cute precious puppy just took a really big leak.
Yes, that's
Right out in the hall.
and that was number 1, and then I was going to get to number 2.
He's learning
And
from
that-
his daddy.
And that, by the way, if I recall, is the first thing my kids did when they got here, didn't they?
About the same spot. I think she sniffed it out.
It was funny. Me and the pup. This puppy has taken 3 BMs since I've had the puppy, which has now been for about 24 hours. All of them have been inside the house. I will stand out with the dog for an hour on the lawn. The dog just stares at me. We'll go inside the house. As soon as the door
Please
shuts,
don't.
there's a big crap in it. At this point, the poo is bigger than the pup. It really is. It is bigger than the puppy is. I mean, if you waited, if you did a water displacement test, and I'm no mathematician, I don't know how this works. I don't know how something could be bigger. Something could come out of something that is bigger than its container. It's like
Quite a great matter.
with like if a tumbler fell over and 2 gallons of Kool-Aid came out of a glass that was only
There must
12
be
ounces
some,
high.
nuclear fusion going on in this animal.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe this animal should be studied by physicists.
Well, the one thing I learned, and this is a tip I'd like to pass along, is I got the dog to urinate outside by urinating outside myself. I noticed when I was urinating in my toilet upstairs and the dog began urinating on the floor mat, I put 2 and 2 together. I said, this dog likes to pee when Papa pees. So I said, next time... No, you're right. The dog peed first and then I peed. That's true. Drew, you are right about that one. But the next time, we went outside last night after the show. It was about 1 in the morning, and I was standing out of my lawn urinating because, after all, that's why I bought a house. And the dog looked at me, looked down at the urine, and then began urinating as well as a sort of homage to my penis.
but were you sort of touched by that?
Yeah, I
I
thought
mean,
that...
when has a woman just started to urinate when you did?
Never. Never unless she was really drunk.
No.
The dog, by the way, and here's why I'm kind of cranky tonight. I got the dog all set up in the living room last night, and the dog knocked down this like kid barrier thing I put up and started running all over the house. So I put the dog in the basement. Now don't think I'm cruel, everybody. I have a nice basement. It's got a nice floor on it. It's got nice lighting. I put a little radio down there. Put the dog's little blankets. It's big. I put the food bowl. I put everything down there. I went upstairs. I went to bed, and started hearing that distant yelp, and that nonstop yelping, just a whining and crying and yelping. So the dog went. So now it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm up. And I'm pissed. I'm in my underwear, but pissed. You know, the underwear and slipper look. I go down to the basement. I grab the dog, and I say, okay, you come up in the room with me. I take the blanket. I put the blanket down right next to the bed, put the dog down on the blanket. All right, let's get some shut-eye. Dog's whimpering, crying, he's pulling. Cut to about 10 minutes later, the dog is sleeping on my head on the bed. Never made another sound the entire night, but the dog literally slept on my head last night.
I have a friend who a German Shepherd sort of arrived and sat in his Jeep and wouldn't leave. So finally he would, drive the Jeep around. The dog would stay in the Jeep. And it took like a week before the dog would come in the house. Now this dog will not leave him alone or the Jeep. They took a walk from the Jeep, maybe like 10 blocks away on Melrose, and tied the dog up to a parking meter to go in a store for a minute, came back out. He chewed through the leash. They looked all over, go back to the Jeep, he's in the Jeep.
All right, if you replace the word Jeep with Adam's head,
Right, that's
you have
exactly.
the exact same story.
Yep.
So tonight's just going to be more dog sleeping on my head. Is that your foot down there, Drew?
Yeah, sorry.
See, every time I
I
feel
wouldn't wanna
something, I
touch
think
you.
it's the dog now. Sandra.
Yes, hi.
Hey, you're on with Poe. You're 27. What's going on?
Yes, I am. I have a 2-year-old son, and first of all, I want to know how important a social group is for a 2-year-old, Dr. Drew.
You mean, how important is it to put children in a school or daycare setting?
Yeah, in a daycare. I mean, because my husband works days, I work nights, so, we don't really need a babysitter right now. And when I do leave him with somebody, it's either with my parents or, family members.
So you're
And
saying
while-
should you also be leaving him with a group of peers in addition to the coverage that you have with your family members?
Okay.
Is that your question?
Well, that's part of it. Another part is that I signed him up for daycare, so he could start getting together with other kids. But as a child, I was molested by my grandfather.
You were,
And I am
yeah.
just so nervous about that.
Yes.
And he's still in diapers, so I'm just nervous about somebody changing his diaper.
Yeah, I
Kids need to see other kids at 2?
No, they don't. They really don't. They need to see mom.
I'm sorry?
That's what they need to see. They need to see a lot of mom at 2.
Anyone's mom or their own?
No, their own mom.
Okay.
I have sort of a rule of thumb that try to keep it in the same gene pool as much as possible. But as you see, even with Sandra, keeping it in the same gene pool ended up creating destruction here. And it's natural enough that you'd be nervous about this, but be careful. I mean, your child is going to develop his view of the world based on your anxieties about what a dangerous place it is. I mean, part of your job as mother is to help the child deal with anxieties and master the world and feel confident and able to fend off these sorts of things. I think it's great to socialize kids. I think around age 3, it's a great idea to
Hold
put
on,
them in.
Sandra, what's going on over there?
Christian, he's right behind me playing with his card.
Oh.
And I can't hear you.
I think 2 is a little bit young, and you shouldn't feel compelled to do it.
Oh, okay.
And I just think what
Sorry
he
about that.
Is it an actual car? I mean, does he have a Plymouth in the living room?
It seems like it, but no, it's one of those ride-on carts.
Wow.
He's 2.5 or 2.
I'm sorry?
Is he almost 3?
No, he just turned 2 in December.
Yeah, I think now is when we need a lot of mom, and it's one of the unfair realities of nature that there is simply really if you're going to decrease the probability of harming a child emotionally, they need a lot of mom in the first 5 years, a ton.
Yeah, they don't need other kids.
Well, they do. I think it's very important for them to be able to get around with their peers around age 3 and definitely age 4. But dad is not necessary. Mom is the most important thing at that point.
I want to know, speaking of rearing, I want to know how you potty train a dog. Is somebody's going to know?
Yeah.
You don't know.
No, I've done it.
Your maid did it. Come on.
No, I've done a couple dogs.
You have?
We have one that still have a problem with.
You've done a couple dogs.
He's done a couple dogs.
Oh boy, if we could put that on cart, that would come back and haunt you, Drew. Oh yeah.
She got it?
How does that work?
Oh my God, it's on a card.
How does that? Oh really? How does that work?
I can't remember. I cannot remember how we did it.
I bet you Sherry knows, but if
it's
any
it's
listeners,
a lot of structure. It's like with kids. I mean, you just structure the hell out of it. You keep putting them outside, right, Sherry? Yeah, you really structure things very carefully.
That's not an answer. I need something quick. And how long does it take, by the way?
Weeks.
Oh, he needs something.
Oh,
quick.
weeks?
It takes a couple months.
Yeah, it takes
Couple months.
Yeah,
please,
Yeah,
Ann.
to totally
Yes,
that you
absolutely. It
can
takes
leave the
weeks.
house for a couple hours and feel confident that nothing's going to happen. Sure.
Right, you just keep putting them outside and putting them outside all the time. Yeah,
right. And you just really praise them, and you just after they eat, you take them
Praise
right
them.
outside, and you wait and you wait and you wait.
And you leave. I remember you leave them in one spot with paper, so if they do poop on it, they're stuck with it. They stay with the poo and they start not liking
Oh,
it. So
jeez, I got to get a
Right,
Wrangler.
That, or
Can't
you
do
let them
this.
potty on the paper inside, then you take paper outside, so they associate going
That does
outside
not work.
on the paper.
That does not
That doesn't
It
work.
work.
worked for with one of my
Does
dogs,
it?
so there.
I can see me going number 2 out on the lawn tonight. Hey, pay attention there, Pop. Oh, Christ, out of leaves. Oh, boy. All right. Hey, Drew.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I'm going to the next line. Derek.
Yeah.
Hey, you're 17. What's going on? You're on with
Hey,
Pop.
how you doing?
Hey.
About a week ago, I was going through my parents' closet, and I found a coffee can full of marijuana in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if I should tell them or what.
Did you know that they smoked marijuana?
No, I never did. I never would have expected it.
What were you looking for?
I was looking for a pen from my mom's purse.
Do they use much alcohol?
Hmm?
Do they use much alcohol?
My mom doesn't at all. My dad does.
A lot?
Not too much, but he drinks.
Do you think maybe it's just his pot?
No, because it was in my mom's closet.
Doesn't matter.
I'll tell you, if I got married and I smoked pot, I would hide all the weed in my wife's closet.
Yeah.
That would be my policy. Do you
wasn't
smoke
sure.
pot, Derek?
Huh?
You don't smoke pot?
No, I don't.
Do you drink?
No.
How do you feel about what your dad's doing? Let's assume it's your dad.
I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it.
How do you feel?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what I feel. I'm kind of mad
Mad. Why?
that they do that.
Why?
Because this whole time they've been like telling me how bad it is and
Alright.
how they never do it and I better never do it. And then I found out they did it.
You need to have a little
Feels
talk
betrayed.
with them. Yeah, you need to talk with them.
But
You have a right to feel betrayed.
Yeah.
they're still right. I mean, I'm going to tell my kid not to do just about everything I've done, and there's going to be stuff I'm not even going to mention, like putting a jacuzzi jet in my ass and stuff like that, because I didn't want to cloud the issue. I mean, that goes without saying.
You don't want to tip off your hand.
Yeah.
You could even think of those things.
Not that your father's ever done this before, son, but never reenact that enema by putting a jacuzzi jet in your own anus. Thank you.
Pretty sure it's my mom, though.
Paul, it's been a while since you've been here. That story went on for about 6 months.
My mom had a pot plant in the backyard when I was a kid. Had a big one until one of my Hesher buddies saw it, I think, one day, and it mysteriously came up missing the following day. But the point is, okay, so here's my two opinions. They're still right to tell their 16 or 17-year-old, hey, don't smoke weed.
That's right.
Because
that's what's best for the kid.
Yeah, and if you're working and if you're paying your mortgage and if you're paying your car insurance and keeping up with everything and you want to responsibly enjoy a little hookah every once in a while, just like you might enjoy beer or a cocktail every once in a while, that's all right. I agree it's a mixed message, but they're still right by telling you not to do it.
If a young...
I mean, you replace booze with alcohol, and replace booze with marijuana, you have the same thing.
Yeah, but if a child finds out what a parent has done or is doing, that is a ringing endorsement to do it yourself.
I know, but replace alcohol with pot here. It is not such a ringing endorsement.
No, because kids drank when parents drank.
Yes, listen,
the highest predictor of a young person smoking cigarettes is parents who smoke cigarettes.
All right, shut Drew's mic off for a second.
Yeah, but I have to say, I relate to this story a lot, only something different, because my mother used to hide cigarettes from us, and I remember discovering that my brother and I discovering that she was, smoking cigarettes in the garage was one of the most disturbing things I've ever gone through. Not because what she was doing was so bad, not because she was overbearingly disciplinary or anything, but it's discovering a part of your parent that they're insecure about, which makes you feel unstable.
Right.
Like, wow, they're hiding this thing from me. They're telling me one thing.
And what else might
what else
they
is
be
going on? And,
lying about?
And, in my case, I found out a lot of lies were going on. And part of the truths that your parents keep from you are the right thing to do. I mean, you're not going to tell a 4-year-old your sexual habits, any more than you might tell a 17-year-old that you're smoking pot, because you don't want them to smoke pot.
Unless the tripod breaks and you need someone to work the video camera in a pinch.
That's
when they
totally
find out,
different,
but when
because
kids find out, it's the worst situation. So if parents really want to give a clear message, they should adjust their behavior accordingly.
But I will also recommend one thing, which is that my brother went for the jugular. Like, what the hell are you doing? Why am I not getting a clear picture? And went right for the truth. I was the diplomat. I don't want to rock the boat here.
Well, he's volatile.
I ended up smoking cigarettes. He didn't.
Interesting.
Okay. So
confront your
my
parents is the
recommendation is go for the truth. Like, you're 17 years old. Say, hey, I deserve for you to tell me the truth. I'm going to make my own decisions starting next year. And tell me the real story.
Yeah.
Tell me why you smoke pot. Tell me, tell me honestly, does it do something good for you? Are you bummed that you smoke it? Do you wish you could quit? All those questions. And it's best not necessarily to do it in an angry way, but say, look, I want the real story. I understand. You can be angry, whatever, but say, hey,
Just be direct.
And think of a good excuse why you're going through the closet, like I was looking for the Bible or something like that.
But what I'm trying to say is you have an absolute right to ask.
Yep, should ask.
Okay.
The questions directly.
And now, Drew, here's what I'm saying. And I know what your point is. But I'm saying there's plenty of parents that have a glass of wine with every meal of their family. They pour themselves a nice glass of wine, and the kids understood, just like you understood when you were 15, 16, 17, that you were underage, you didn't drink the wine, and that was something that adults do. They didn't hide their drinking of it. I know marijuana is stigmatized. I know it's illegal, and I know it's different.
Problem with alcohol in this country. I mean, the place that the average alcoholic begins drinking is at home. And they drink and they delight in it as a young adult because they equate that with
what do you have a bachelor pad at 14? Of course you start at home.
An adult.
Yeah.
That's what adults do. And finally I'm an adult and I can drink.
And this is a rite of I have one quick question, not to lead anybody astray. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's because what if his mom doesn't know his dad smokes pot, or his dad doesn't know the mom smokes pot, so maybe he should confront them separately? Or is that okay?
It's a good thought, but I bet they
Just
know.
be prepared for
And
that.
I think some honesty in the entire family setting would be a good idea.
I think you're right.
We'll be back with more
Just be
Drew,
prepared
more
for
Poe,
drama.
more you, and we'll hear something from Poe after this.
Ernie, the world's fastest drummer for LoveLine. Hi, when I'm not drumming, up a storm. What was the rest of it? LoveLine will be right back. If it's not, sue me or something.
Hey, man. What song is this? I know this song. I look at Drew for answers. This is amazing.
Poe's sitting here. Ask her.
I have no idea what this song. Oh, I know what this. This is Sublime, right?
Oh, it's Sublime? Okay. Sounds like a knack riff. Do that one more time. I'm telling you, that was all right. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Mike.
There it is.
I know what you're thinking. It sounds like it's an older.
It's not my Sharona knack. There's a,
yeah, close.
That's a Good Girls Don't kind of.
There's also a Ramones song that does that kind of.
Find that knack CD. Get the knack CD. Mike. You know what my new favorite game on LoveLine here is to ask Mike to do stuff other than sit and look up pornography on the internet and watch the look on his face. All right, so the fabulous Poe is here. Now, Poe, I'm told we're going to hear something off the Loungeapalooza CD, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a song that your bro wrote, it's an original, whereas a lot of these are covers. Poe went the original route, and this one is called A Rose is a Rose. Oh, okay.
What?
Mike was so busy not doing anything, he forgot to cue it up. There you go.
I was laughing with Picasso when she first entered the room. But Gershwin, Tristan, Zara, and Man Ray saw her too. There was never any doubt, or would try to take her home. But she refused their every move, preferred to be alone. And a rose is a rose. Zelda had a breakdown, Fitzgerald hit the bar. His hand was broken, words were spoken, didn't get too far. Hemingway was smoother, more debonair and fun. But he would say her repartee was meaner than a gun. And a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose, said my good friend Gertrude Stein. But she knows that I go to the old tomato and I drink Panosa that night. Jezebel from Israel never read a book. She charmed the literati in a smile. All it took. Before her joys will bow, the pound has gone insane. Elliot is paralyzed with thoughts of it will rain. When she refused Lenin, he vowed to start a war. Stravinsky beat the rite of spring right there on the floor. And a rose is a rose. A rose is a rose is a rose is a rose, said my good friend Gertrude Stein. Well, she knows that I go to the old tobacco and I drink Panosa that night. And then one night she's missing, a riot soon began. No one could stand the thought of Jesse with another man. Against her windy streets, I brought to her house. You never guess who Jezebel was kissing her on the couch. A rose is a rose. Hi, Jesse. Hi there, Gertrude. Am I interrupting something? Oh, no,
It's a rose. Hey, that's pretty good. Well, and now for your listening pleasure, a little Steve and Edie with a ditty.
Singing Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Really well-known song from the 90s and the 20th century.
How'd you get them to do this?
Well, you know, they just liked the song there, Drew, and decided they'd like
In
to
my
try it.
eyes, indisposed, in disguise.
This is just the next song on the CD, so I thought it'd be funny to hear a few seconds of it.
Hides the face, lies the snake, and the sun in my disgrace.
It's amazing how you can make any song sound like any song you want.
Summer stench, neath the black, the sky looks dead. Call my name through the cream.
You gotta get to the hook.
And I'll hear you scream again.
All right, here it comes,
Everybody
everyone.
now.
Black hole sun, won't you come to wash away?
Drew, you know the Soundgarden?
Black hole
Can't recognize it though.
Drew doesn't know the song.
sun, won't you come?
I feel so close to everyone in this room right now.
All right, Mike, put that down. Let's not not steal any of Poe and Poe and Bro, who wrote this song, "A Rose Is a Rose." It sounded like a great song.
Actually, Mark wrote it entirely on his own.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I should say Poe sung it, and Bro Mark wrote it. It's great. It's a great.
It's a good ditty, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say ditty too, but then I thought, no, it's condescending, but no, it's not. That's a
It's
ditty
not.
kind of
I
song.
mean, those swing songs are all about ditty.
Right. And you, again, it's from the Loungapalooza, which I guess has been out for a while, right?
It's been out for a while, yeah. It's kind of one of those underground things. It's not really a, make a video,
got a
do
whole
a
bunch
big
of-
single, but
it's-
it's an interesting record.
But it's got like Ben Folds 5 and Pizzicato 5 and, of course, Poe and, Edie, Steve and Edie.
Steve and
So
Edie, man.
it's,
What
that's
else?
worth the price of admission right there. David.
Hey, Adam, you rule, and Dr. Drew, I love you too.
All right, Dave, what's
Thanks,
going on?
Dave.
What about me?
What about Poe?
I haven't heard much of her music, but what I've heard, I've liked.
All right. Fair
Adam, I
enough.
have your solution to your dog potty training problem.
Yes.
What you do is you take some newspaper, you lay it by the door,
Mhm.
lay it a couple layers thick. Every time you see the dog going, or right after it's gone, you put it on the paper, and eventually it'll associate the paper with going to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my problem is
Eventually, you move the paper out from the door to the outside.
Who just
Continue
said
the process until it learns to go outside.
Yeah, we just said that.
this is
I
genius.
said that verbatim.
All right.
Hello?
All right, Ann already gave that advice. My problem was I came home last night to find a manhole cover size Dukester at the top of the stairs. It could have been, and I did the old Indian trick where I rubbed a little on my cheek to see if it was warm. And it had been there, according to my calculations, had been there 4 days, although I've only had the dog for 12 hours at that point, so I'm going to have to look into that technique. But it'd been so far removed from the Duke, I don't know what it would have, if it would have associated the Duke with the, anyway.
With anything.
All right. I just got to get into some sort of maturity accelerator where I put it in some kind of box and speed it up. I had no idea
I
that.
think Adam would be a great parent.
Yeah, so, oh, yeah.
Oh.
You're a teenager now, really. Take the car and go pick up my stuff.
I'm going to be, you know what? I have central heating in my house, but if I ever have kids, I'm going to install a radiator just so I have something to chain them to, Drew.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Oh, boy. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
They won't have to get tattoos in the end. They'll just already have
Branded.
them.
Right, it'll be like Kung Fu. All right, we got to go to break again. This time, when we come back, we take nothing but calls.
Thank you.
With Poe.
LoveLine will be right back. LoveLine will be right back after we kill the singer.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, it's LoveLine. Our guest tonight is Poe. Great Expectations is the name of the movie and the name of the soundtrack that she contributed to, which is out right now, actually, even though the movie's not out yet, with Gwyneth Paltrow, De Niro, and Ethan Hawke, did you say?
Yeah.
I screwed that one up. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, these good-looking, greasy guys. Jason.
Yes.
He's kind of greasy, isn't he? You're 23.
Correct.
What's going on?
I was in the shower the other day, and you have to excuse me. I'm kind of getting through this flu thing that's going around. Anyway, I was in the shower. I was washing my genitals, and you know those multiple nozzles on the end of the shower head. One has like a massaging, the other one comes out in a stream, and of course you have the regular one, and the other one has the hard mist.
Right.
I was using the hard mist, and
Hold on. What's the hard mist? There's no such thing as a hard mist.
A hard stream.
It's like, oh
fine
man,
stream?
it was pouring drizzle last night. Did you notice that?
you know, it's like a forceful type of.
Yeah, but that
a fine stream.
And phallic imagery here.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was washing my genitals off, and I kind of got a funny feeling, you know, kind of like an orgasmic feeling. And when I left it there, it didn't give me a hard-on or anything like that. This is on my penis, of course. And when I left it there, instead of sperm coming out, it was urine. And I was kind of curious what caused that, and I also had a concern, too.
What's the concern?
The concern was, because I did it a second time just to see if it was a fluke type of thing.
Right then, or
That's what I
a few
said
days later?
when I first masturbated at 15. Just one more time, just to make sure it's all out of my system. I think there's just a little bit left.
It was a fluke.
Little did I know I'd be a bottomless well of semen.
So I did it a second time.
How long after the first time?
Huh?
How long after the first time?
At like 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. How much urine came out?
It was not a whole lot. It was more than, you know, what a normal sperm ejaculation would be. But it wasn't a whole lot. But the concern I had was, if I keep doing it, is it going to drain my bladder and eventually start pulling blood out?
Yeah, and then your soul comes out next, doesn't it?
No, your bladder can only evacuate till it's empty, and then it stops evacuating.
Yeah, God's a little smarter than that. Well, once the guy's out of urine, tries to take a piss, and the reservoir's dry, nothing but blood. Just start peeing blood, and then
Central nervous system follows.
Then the brain comes out.
Right.
Then the lower intestine just comes right out of your urethra.
It's kind of peculiar what you're describing, but I suspect what it is just a change in the muscle tone and let's say the angle of the bladder neck, and that things are loosening and changing down there in such a way that would normally happen when somebody evacuates their bladder, but it's being triggered by this kind of abnormal stimulation.
Doesn't warm water kind of get you going
that's
too?
one of the ways. That's one of the ways that can happen.
And words like stream and mist and...
there's so many different settings on that nozzle.
It just makes you want to just piss.
And what about that whole? I know I'm changing subjects here, but I'm thinking. Well, not really. I'm thinking about that gag where guys put some other guy's hand in a cup of warm water and he wets himself. What is up with that? I never did that. You know what? It didn't seem proactive enough for me. My whole thing is like, if there's a guy lying there who's asleep, we just pee on it. Forget about.
You guys I think crapped on him.
Forget about. Well, that was next. But the point is like, well, we may not have known him, so we'd probably just go number one. Forget about like waiting for him to wet himself 3 hours later when we went around. Let's just cut out the middle hand and just start urinating on the guy right there while he was asleep. But does that work when you put someone's hand in warm water?
It's possible.
What does that do?
Again, it just changes the tone down there. It causes a sort of a reflexive reaction. I mean, why is that happening? Or exactly what's happening?
Yeah. There's too much guesswork involved with that gag. I need ones that are a little more direct.
You need to try it yourself.
Patrick. I'll try that tonight. I think someone's been doing that
Try
to my
with your
dog.
dog.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
there
someone
you
has put a dog's paw in a thing of warm. It wouldn't be water. I'd say gravy, actually. Patrick, you're 29.
Hey.
Hey.
Adam.
Mm-hmm.
If you get your dog paper trained, thing you got to watch out for is when we were paper training our puppy.
Mm-hmm.
When he'd get his front paws on the paper, he'd go.
Right.
So his rear end be hanging off.
Guests really care about you, Adam.
I got to cut those off.
Wait, one of the dogs I trained, I did it by just papering the whole room and leaving him in that room, like a small bathroom.
Right.
And then
but this dog will just start yelping and yelping and yelping if I do that. All right.
They do stop yelping.
They do?
You have to give them a few nights. It's sort of torturous, but they do
it's
stop.
like kids
and then,
crying.
Forget about the dog being tortured.
Sometimes.
I'm being tortured.
Yeah.
And I just lie there in a pool of my own
You wanted
nerve.
you wanted a dog.
You want
No, not really.
There's a guy that lives in my building who's been suffering with a bulldog puppy for like 2 months, and it's the most hilarious thing. He looks like he's aged about 10 years. His dog just pulls him around, and he finally was ready to give up like 2 weeks ago, and then the dog, learned and hasn't done it in the house in a while.
Patrick?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple.
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, you had the triathlete on the program.
Right. No, that was, what's her name, from Baywatch.
Yeah, but she's doing triathlons now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, on the subject of performance-enhancing drugs.
Alexandra Paul, that's
Yeah,
right.
the subject of performance-enhancing drugs came up.
No,
and,
I think we started talking about autologous blood transfusions. Didn't we?
Whose blood transfusion?
We were talking about autologous blood. Blood banking and then retransfusing it before performing. Remember?
No,
Yeah,
we
they call
weren't
that,
talking about
yeah.
that.
They call that blood doping.
Or blood packing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're doing something else, kind of in that vein right now. Is that
They give erythropoietin too, is the
yeah.
other thing.
Yeah, that's what the big concern is. Like in bicycle racers in Europe, there's been a lot of allegations. A lot of athletes do that.
What? All right.
Erythropoietin is a hormone produced by the kidney that was finally isolated and produced genetically, engineered by Genentech, and it stimulates the bone marrow to produce red blood cells in abnormal quantities. If you're an otherwise normal person, it will stimulate abnormal red cell production, and your oxygen carrying capacity is specifically dependent on the amount of hemoglobin in your blood.
Which is the red blood cells?
Yeah.
But aren't the white blood cells the ones that fight
infection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the yellow blood cells are good at math, and the brown blood cells nap too much. And how'd that go?
The red cells, though, if your oxygen delivery is more effective, you get better muscle performance.
Okay. There's just the white and the red one.
But who knows
I heard
what,
the white one took the red one's land.
But who knows what the? Oh man.
No, but it's okay because they named all the bridges and mountains after them.
But these chemicals were never meant to be used on healthy people. They were designed initially for people in chronic renal failure, and then now we're using it. People who are getting chemotherapy who needs their.
Well,
Although people at the end of triathlons have been known for renal failure.
No, chronic renal failure. People on dialysis.
What is renal failure?
The kidneys don't function anymore.
Boy, it's like turning some sort of Latin club here all of a sudden. All right, so Patrick.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah, and I guess the big concern is that when these guys exercise and then they get dehydrated, their blood gets so thick they can get blood clots, so they can get heart attacks, and strokes, and stuff like that.
I don't know if that's been documented, but that certainly is a theoretic concern.
Well, here's what all this stuff comes back to, which is you can fool the body for a race or possibly a weekend, but you cannot do it over and over again. It comes back to haunt you.
Although I saw something on the news that said they've been able to produce cells that
don't die. Yeah, but look, there is. I don't think in our lifetime there will ever be any substance that you can take that makes a healthy person more healthy. You could only make a healthy person sick by taking drugs.
Yeah, but you could make them perform better on a given weekend, but it's gonna hurt them later on.
At risk, yeah, for a risk to make them ill, make them to endanger their lives even potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to be frozen tonight.
All right.
I suspect a lot of breakthroughs coming in probably about 10 years
This is the way to
after
deal
I
with your
go.
dog. We'll just freeze you for a couple months.
Freeze the dog is what we'll do.
No, the dog won't mature that way.
Pop. I'll be dragging the dog down the street. Hey, your dog's thawing, Adam. Ooh, yeah, right. Got to get him back in the freezer. One of his paws just snapped off back there. Hey, thanks. I'll help. Okay. Yeah, frozen dog.
Your dog is crying out there. I see little tears welling in his brown eyes.
Little ice cubes coming out.
Little ice cubes.
Jason.
Yeah.
You're 18.
Yep.
What's going on?
I got a question for you. What are the emotional, mental, and physical drawbacks of acid?
Chronic psychiatric hospitalizations, which I've certainly seen.
Drew bumming your high?
Yeah, I've never seen it from somebody. I've seen people have acute psychotic reactions where they harm themselves even after one use of LSD. But the more common thing is people who like LSD, who use a lot of it, then end up with personality changes and chronic mood disturbances. And really, it's gotten to the point where recalcitrant depressive disorders in somebody around the age of 40 almost always has a substantial LSD history there.
Jason?
Yes?
I'm no scientist, but I can tell you that I can tell when someone's done a lot of drugs, whatever it is, especially the LSD guys, and someone who hasn't. there's a certain...
Drew obviously has done a lot of those.
Oh, yeah. He's high now. But there's... You should see he's got tracks between his toes, upside of his arm, and his neck.
But he has them so nicely painted.
Jason?
Yes.
So why? You doing acid?
I have been doing it, and am currently doing it, yes.
Okay.
Right this second?
In about...
Really?
I knew it.
About the age of... somewhere around your early to mid-20s, things are going to start falling apart.
Well, let's not bum us high too much.
Yeah,
but
this
Jason,
could be dangerous.
Jason, here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is my voice echoing or anything?
No, it's nothing like
Do
that.
you see trailers after fast-moving objects?
I see trailers after moving my hand a couple inches.
Does my voice sound deeper or cavernous or anything like that, or is this?
Hang on a second.
Oh, wow.
God forbid some comedy break out on
Why
the
do you
show while
think-
Drew's at the helm.
Why do you think it is that you're seeing trailers after objects that move quickly?
I don't know. I have. It's just some chemical.
Damage to it's chemical damage to the occipital regions of your brain.
Well, why is it
Causes-
damage? When you fall asleep, you have dreams. You see trailers, and
That's
you get
part
all
of
sick.
normal
Is that
physiology.
damage?
This is
Well,
if you started in your waking state, started seeing that, you would have to examine your central nervous system to see why that's happening. It's an abnormal state. It's the result of damage. One of the many sources of damage. that
Here's
the drug causes.
here's the other one too, which is if you do a bunch of acid when you're young, and then you get a little bit older, and you do these retarded things where you're walking around with your sunglasses on your head and you don't know it, and you're looking all over for it, and you're cursing your buddy who you
Peeing
thought
outside
that
with your
took him.
dog.
You're peeing in unison with your dog out on the lawn. You start doing a bunch of things. Now, I didn't do a bunch of acid, so when I pull one of those, I just say, hey, I'm a F up, or I forgot, or whatever. If I took a bunch of acid and then started doing that kind of stuff, I would never know what's causing it, and I would probably psych myself out and assume that it's because of the acid that I can't remember the person's phone number or what have you.
If that's all that happened to people that did acid, I wouldn't be discouraging them, because the effects are far, far worse.
I'm just saying it's even a double-edged sword, because then you would start really screwing with yourself if you started to feel those effects. Oh, shut up.
But here's the deal: is that the brain, they're
we got to go to break.
Really quick. When I was in high school, people would say, "Oh, it opens up the synapses and increases the activity of the brain." It actually does that, and it's now been shown that excessive stimulation via the glutamate pathway kills brain cells and decreases the interactions amongst them.
This is why I'm against Nintendo, by the way. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed.
Really? LoveLine will be right back to deal with inflamed, sensitive areas.
Hey, it's LoveLine. Poe is here, and we're running late, so we'll be back in 10 seconds.
New Rock. 92.1 KFMA. Green Valley, Tucson.
All right, the show's LoveLine. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Forget about the fax number. Great Expectations is the name of the movie. Also the name of the movie soundtrack. Poe is the name of the artist who contributed to that soundtrack. And Loungeapalooza is also one of Poe's latest efforts. And Poe, when's the next CD coming out for you that doesn't have Stephen Eady on it?
Oh, there's no official date yet, but I'm writing it and recording it now. So we're hoping sort of like spring, summertime. Probably
Okay.
summer, actually.
All right. How long does it take once you go? And I know this stuff has to do with the record company and that kind of stuff, but let's just say you're in a huge hurry and you went into the studio and you recorded all your tracks and you were done.
Well,
How
they-
long could they do it before it was in the record store? Could they do it in 2 weeks?
They could do it extremely quickly, but most of the times the results aren't very good.
Because of the engineering and that kind of stuff?
Oh, no. Record-wise, you could put a record out the day you finish it. I think the shortest record ever recorded was like Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies. It was about 7 days, written, recorded, and then mixed in 10 or something.
And it could just be in the stores on the...
It could be, but labels don't like to do that because the more lead time they have, the better the publicity, the better the little, like demonstration in the record store and the listening stations and the TV commercials and the print ads. They like to have about 3 months.
Right. I'm trying to think of. I'm just thinking back to I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, and thinking what'd they do? I guess they just counted. I mean, the stations had to play the music, and then that was about it. If people liked it, they'd go buy it. I know it's the same thing now to a certain degree, but it seems like a lot more advertising, a lot more. People are doing MTV. People are.
There's more of an industry.
Spots on the TV and all that.
Just like with
stuff.
movies, there's that whole industry of promoting the films. It's the same thing as books and records.
There's the visual end, but it's also, you're right, it's just a massive industry, and there are different rules now. But it's still very radio-driven. I mean,
yeah.
Bottom line is you have to have radio in this country.
Right. That's why Drew and I get big piles of Coke every night from the record folks. I miss that whole payola part, the whole hookers, Coke, and weed part of radio. I miss those days. Now
I know, it's sad for you.
Now it's like, hey, we got you a T-shirt. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks a lot. What kind of
Appreciate it.
payola is that? Mary,
Wow.
you're 22. Well, I always used to hear these great stories about how DJs, and I mean...
You haven't looked inside the collar of the T-shirt yet, have you?
No.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, is it sewn
Hello?
in?
Yeah, of course.
Mary?
My question is,
Yeah.
I'm married, and about the third year of my marriage, my husband wanted to fulfill a fantasy of being with 2 women, and I told him, let me think about it. I thought about it, and we done it. And when we done it, I got to liking it,
That's
being with
specific,
another
Jenna.
woman without him there.
Hold on, Mary?
Yes.
Satisfy a curiosity of mine. Say the word vagina. Say it, please.
What?
Say it, please.
Vagina.
Okay. We're betting on a virgina. There, that's all. All right,
I
Mary.
done it, I got to liking it without him there, and now he's upset about it, and he puts me down for it, but yet he's the one that got me to do it. I don't understand why a man would put you down for something once he got you to do it.
Well, as is often the case.
I mean, he was there.
As is often the case, fantasy is far different than reality.
You start cheating on him after that,
and
though,
people
right?
do not understand the consequences of acting out their fantasy. And in your case, you found an interest in women that you're beginning to pursue, and it's destabilizing and maybe ending your marriage.
You have any kids there, Mary?
I have a 3-year-old, but I don't do it with her here.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's responsible parenting. You put her out in the hall of the building?
No, I'll go out for a night or something, and
Okay.
I've always told him he can go.
What?
And now he doesn't want to. He wants to do it on his own.
Mary?
Wait, your husband or
What's
the
going on in the
3-year-old?
background there?
Nothing, it's me.
What's going on in the background
Is
there?
that television?
Oh, yeah, it was a television.
All right. We'll just hang up on it. No, we'll put you on hold, and there you can fester for between 15 minutes and a half hour. I'm not going to talk to people on a nationally syndicated radio show who have one ear on the phone and 2 eyes on Sally Jesse, and it's so effing loud that it becomes a distraction. Listen, if you want to turn your set down and watch your pretty pictures, that's fine. If I hear it coming through the line, that's it.
But just
No,
to finish
screw her.
your call, let me finish
No,
it.
we'll get back there in a half hour.
No, let's finish it.
No, she can sit there. Jackie. Or Jackie. Or,
Jackie?
Jackie?
Is Sally Jesse on another line somewhere?
No, it's just played Jackie.
All right. How do you spell Jackie?
Jackie.
No, you don't. No. That's
You're
not
so
Jackie.
cranky. It's unfathomable.
Please, we need... the society will crumble if we don't have laws.
Okay, well, spell Jackie for us, Adam.
Jackie. Is that how people spell it?
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
She didn't put a Q in there?
No, we have one up here on the board.
All right. I put that in because Sherry put it in. All right. You're all forgiven. Go ahead.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I have kind
I'm
of a
sorry. I was
two-part-
cranky from the previous call.
All right. Okay. I've got a kind of a 2-part question. The first part regarding me, and the second regarding my boyfriend. And I guess.
Hold on a second.
What?
Sherry, what's going on with the Jackie?
Jackie. Key in French is Q-U-I.
Oh, she's doing that for you, Drew.
I think.
Jackie.
Listen, I don't parlez-vous. You know what I'm saying? I come from North Hollywood, not from the south of France like Drew. I didn't spend my summers picking grapes on my uncle's farm. I was dodging flack. Please. Let's not make fun of my junior high education. I was going to say junior college, and I thought, no, junior high would be a little higher. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jack A.
Okay. No. Okay. Anyways, basically, my problem is that I think I'm wondering if there's a possible way to reduce the amount of lubrication that I'm producing.
Basically not, but why would you want to do that?
Sand, I think, is what the Caltrans will use.
Basically, I feel kind of bad for my boyfriend. Like, I don't know, he's very into oral sex, and it's never been a problem. I just like.
Has he complained?
No. I guess it's me being self-conscious.
Yeah,
I have a feeling he loves it.
Yeah, this is something about your self-consciousness about
You
what
don't
he's
love
doing.
it during oral sex.
He doesn't?
Yeah, well, gives him some feedback.
Does he ever just slide off and hit his head on the nightstand?
See, that's what I'm worried about.
Not going to happen, all right?
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, like, when we're having sex, like, I get that, well, I actually know he's told me that when this happens, he feels less, and he,
Feels what?
Less.
He feels less pleasure, he gets less pleasure.
Because
from
things
it,
are so
basically.
lubricated.
Yeah. So it's just...
What?
True. You're not putting all this together? He's over lubricated. He's having
I
sex, and
understand.
he's not getting that
friction.
that God-given
Right.
friction.
Friction is the key.
Right.
Definitely.
But, it's such a fine line you walk with the friction, isn't it?
I don't know.
Too much friction. There's chafing, discomfort.
Like our earlier call.
Yeah.
Not enough friction. You sort of lose sensation.
Maybe it's his anatomy that's the problem and not hers.
How's he doing in that department?
Amazing. In fact, I'm like, I have to like stop myself from like having too many orgasms. Like I'm like super multi-orgasmic. I mean,
Yep. Okay. Let me ask that question one more time.
Okay.
She may have misunderstood that one. How big is his honk?
it's big.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're really lubricated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what do you do about this, Drew? This could be a legitimate problem.
I don't know of anything. I mean, I guess you could wear a condom, but that would further decrease his sensitivity. But
Right.
I'm not aware of anything.
So there's nothing.
Maybe she should be like a male. She should like think of baseball.
I was thinking of that. Yeah.
No,
do
I
you
know.
have like
Yeah.
Tried it.
like Platoon on tape or something you could watch to sort of not arouse you so much?
Right. I definitely tried it.
I get the real sense though that this is sort of a misplaced anxiety. I really do. This sounds like very normal function.
Yeah.
And why he's making an issue?
He's
of
not
it.
complaining, or
He
he
is
is complaining
a little bit, or at least did he complain a lot, or just one time, and you've been obsessing about it ever since?
Oh, no. It's been a couple times where like he hasn't been able to have an orgasm,
This
and
is
it's
his. This is
Sounds like his.
this
Drew,
is his
don't
thing.
turn every sexual thing into his thing. You
Why
love
not?
to do
It's his
that.
thing.
You quiet down over
She's
there.
turned on beyond belief. She's womanly orgasmic, and the guy can't get off. I don't understand.
I don't.
It's his problem. It's
I'm
not
not.
his
I don't blame her. I'm just saying I could see if somebody was
Is
amazingly.
he Catholic?
no, he's not.
If someone was amazingly lubricated, how you could lose some sensation. It's not anybody's fault, but I could see him having
I
difficulty
understand that.
there.
I understand that, but
I don't say it's anyone's fault.
But it's right. But it's the result of her normal function that he's having a problem. She shouldn't be worried about changing her function.
How do you feel about oral sex on him?
Oh, that actually leads right into my
Right.
next little part of the question.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. In fact, I enjoy doing that, and in fact, it scares me because once in a while he actually gets to the point where like when he has an orgasm he can't see like for a moment. He'll have he'll like black out or something. He won't pass out, but he like visually things cut off, and I'm
Okay.
just worried about that.
Does he have migraine headaches?
Rarely, like maybe once.
So he has a history of migraines, is that right?
Yeah, like
So this is probably a migraine phenomenon, I suspect. It's called
why
a
is
migraine
it triggered
equivalent.
by that?
I don't know specifically, but I've heard of cases where it is triggered by that.
Is this? Do you think this is where the wives' tale of you masturbate and your eyesight's going to go bad?
No.
You're
You
still
don't think
worried
that's
about
where
that.
it could have
No.
come from?
No.
So I was going to start wearing a monocle.
So
No.
it's nothing. I'm not
Just
going to
for
hurt him by.
No, he'll be fine.
Okay.
And when he's passed out, he won't be complaining so much about your over lubrication. So it's two birds
Jackie,
with one
I don't know,
penis.
you worry an awful lot, Jackie. You sound quite normal, but you
Yeah.
shouldn't be taking so much responsibility for all this stuff.
I'm
It's
not
all right.
getting that vibe from her. I think she's
Not a bad
very
way.
moist,
Yeah,
and she had a
look,
question about it.
I'm not saying in a bad way.
And
I'm
the
just
guy
saying
passes. The guy goes blind. I mean, don't you think that's a legitimate reason for a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're fine. He's fine, right? Okay.
Don't worry so much.
I don't worry. You'll dry up.
No, I don't know.
I'd dry you right up like the Sahara Desert. That's what I do. Just come by my house. I'll dry you right up.
You haven't been able to do that with your puppy.
No.
Sorry.
That's true. I wish it worked on dogs. Steven,
Yes.
you're 38.
Yep. How
Let's
you guys
go.
doing?
Good. What are you doing?
Just driving home from work.
Where are you calling from?
I'm on the freeway. Which freeway? 605. I'm heading back to Newport Beach to home.
Oh, all right.
And I had a question for Dr. Drew or Adam or either. Is the band Poe? Is your name Poe?
My name's Poe.
Oh, okay. And I really admire your sensibility, Poe. I like hearing your comments on things.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, here's the story. I used a lot of LSD among other drugs when I was younger. My drug of choice was cocaine and alcohol. Currently have 12 years clean and sober, and active in 12-step programs.
Right.
And I've been diagnosed with OCD.
Hold on. You drive in a vacuum cleaner home, or is that a car?
No, it's a car. Sorry.
Okay.
It's the cell site should switch here in a second.
All right.
Over here. Anyway, I was diagnosed with OCD about a year ago. And I have a couple questions. One is I'm wondering is the OCD on the Yale Brown scale? I guess that's a test.
Yeah.
I was very high on the O and not so high on the C.
Uh-huh.
I guess O is the thought and C is the behavior.
Action, yeah.
And so what he's having me take is Prozac. We tried Paxil and one other one I can't remember.
Luvox.
Yeah, and it didn't work because of the sexual problems.
Right.
And surprisingly, Paxil combined with Buspar worked.
Right.
And seems to work.
Right.
The other thing that he had me on and has me on is Klonopin. Which,
I would strongly urge you to get off that.
well, he's strongly urging me and helping me to get off it. We've tried a couple times.
It is anything that triggers the reward systems of the brain is activating your addiction.
Okay.
And the benzodiazepines activate what the region of the brain called the nucleus accumbens.
Okay.
And that is a relapse in progress. So you
Hold
want-
on.
and it-
What's an OCD?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Well, that's the
Are you a real doctor or just a love doctor?
I'm sorry?
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you guys.
It's all right.
It's all right, Steven.
But the question about the OCD, I mean about the, he told me that Klonopin is the least, I guess it's the benzo.
Yeah, it is the least addictive of all. It's also the longest acting, the hardest to get off. But it is an activation of that system, and you must get off it if you are serious about your sobriety.
Yeah, well, he's got. That's the other question is, in the rooms now, what's happening is there's a subculture of people that are getting into SSRIs.
Yeah, I know. No.
What's the rooms?
Well, in the meetings, in the 12-step meetings.
Yeah.
But listen, here's the deal. Is that if you've done a lot of drugs, you will have some form of brain injury. And chronic mood disturbances are a typical outcome of these drug uses, particularly marijuana, LSD, amphetamines, alcohol. And so to restrict your access to medications that restore normal chemistry is threatening your sobriety by itself. Obsessive compulsive disorder is another interesting outcome of substance use. And it's been my experience that mostly people who smoke a lot of pot end up with prominent obsessive compulsive features after they stop. Now, understand that alcoholism and obsessive compulsive disorder and ADD are all very close relatives genetically. In fact, they may be groupings of similar genes. So this may be some predisposition you have that's sort of brought out. Similarly to, say, bipolar illness. People have manic depressive illness brought out by cocaine oftentimes, another common outcome of substance use. So whether or not you're destined to be obsessive compulsive or not, I would suspect that it is at least more prominent because of the substance use in the past.
So obsessive compulsive disorder is something that can just come on.
Yeah, and it's a
I think I'm coming on to that.
It's largely
by the way.
biologically driven.
If he needs something, though, is there something besides Prozac gives him sexual problems and this other thing.
Oh yeah, they're
What else,
on the right track. It's just that he got into this one medicine that is threatening his sobriety a little bit. And Prozac and Luvox, these work very, very well for this kind of disorder.
But what if...
And again, you understand that we're talking about restoring an injury to the brain back to normal physiology.
Sure. But if he can't do Prozac and that other one, then what can he do?
There's all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Serotonin is a common, Wellbutrin. These things don't have the sexual side effects.
Hey, by the way, if you've been in the program for, 12
years, yeah.
12 years, when do you get to complete the 12th step? Or do you ever do that?
Nope. 12-step is continuing to be of service to others.
Oh, really? Yeah. He's really, that's why he's really getting the shiv with that. You know what I mean? The 12th step. I wouldn't want to get in any step program where you didn't get to finish a step. It's like building a pyramid to Orion's belt or something. There's nothing in it for you.
There's something called rational recovery. Well, the people end up more happier and better than they ever knew they could be. I mean, they're very grateful.
Just you feel like you'd like to complete it. They ought to make it the 10th step. The 10-step program, make the last two optional.
There is something called rational recovery that tries to do that. But in my experience, people that do well in rational recovery end up staying around for an awful long time.
What the hell does that mean? I mean,
they end up staying with it just the way a 12-stepper would.
Now, what do you think of these? I know everyone I know is in recovery, just about, except for myself, because there needs to be one outsider to make fun of these people. Yes, fellas. Yes, that is the rum cake, Larry. Thank you. Okay, I'm fine. I wasn't the one who just got released from prison for driving the car through the prison, but. These guys, some of them are with the program, some of them are away from the program. Now, certain personalities seem like they need the structure of the program, and some seem like they just need to sober up, and then they get on with it, and they don't stay with the program actively. Or at least if they do, it's, a couple times a year or something like that. But you don't say that those people are going to relapse necessarily, do you?
It depends how far their disease had gone in the first place. And it depends what they're doing and what their psychological makeup is in that period after they've had their initial treatment.
Destiny.
Hey,
Ooh.
I can help with the puppy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. What's going
I
on?
trained a dog in a week.
Listen, enough of your nonsense. Why don't you just come over to the house?
Destiny.
I need someone to throw the ball to it while I sleep tonight.
It's really simple. You got to get a crate first.
A crate?
Yeah, like a doggy crate. Like
Oh, no.
Put the paper in the crate.
Sure, it works.
Yeah, but you got to understand, this dog has the lungs of Placido Domingo. It's Placido del Dogo is what this dog is. I can hear it bellowing throughout my cavernous home all night.
It has to stay in your room.
Oh, it has to stay in
by
my...
you.
It has to be in my room, in the crate?
With you.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to put the crate on my head.
In the crate.
I'm going to have to get in the crate. Now, if you put the crate in my room, then the dog is just going to bellow from this crate in my room all night.
But he's going to get used to it, though.
No, I'm going to get used to it after a month of this racket.
But that's what you have to deal with.
No, see, I don't want any break-in period. We got to do 3 TV shows tomorrow. I got to sleep tonight.
You have to walk through the shadow of the valley of the dog.
You have to be patient.
Oh.
Patient and persistent and a lot of practice.
What if I lock him up?
Dr. Drew's your friend. He'll help you through it.
What if... No, he's not.
He won't. He's shaking his hand.
What if I lock the dog up in my downstairs bathroom tonight and put newspaper all down there? Would that be all right? I could do that, right? That's okay. I feel so guilty.
I think she's going to hang up on you.
I hung up on her.
Oh, you did?
You heard of that pun. Put the dog in a crate, put the crate in my room. That is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, but you have to make a decision, which is, do you suffer for a week and not get any sleep, or do you suffer for about 3 months and sort of be cranky all the time?
I'd rather go for the slow death.
Okay,
I'd go for the 3-month policy, yeah.
Meanwhile, as the faceless evil closes in on the hapless sleeping populace across town in a shanty 1-bedroom, an old woman feeds her parakeet.
Come on, Chirpy, have some cheese. You love cheese. Since when are you afraid of cheese?
LoveLine will be right back.
LOVE 191. LoveLine on K-Rock.
Hey, it's a LoveLine. Anna Corolla, Dr. Drew. Fabulous pose here. Great Expectations is the soundtrack that she's on.
Energy experience tonight.
Lounge-a-palooza. What?
I was in a restaurant, and the chef...
Drew likes to hop in before I'm done.
But I was just saying, I made to tell the story. The chef there was from Minneapolis. I mean, knew us from Minneapolis, but was here and was like, hey, what are you doing in Pasadena?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, did he think you were out of Minneapolis? Or?
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, do you think he really thought
you
that,
were
or is it
Prince.
just kind of what the mind does? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't in his mind at the time.
But you know what's great about the mind, or I don't know if it's good or bad, and maybe this sounds corny, but sometimes I'll watch a movie, and it'll be like a De Niro, and he's talking to Joe Pesci, and I'll say, "Ooh, that De Niro, boy, he's going to get another Academy Award. I wonder how much he made from this, and look at Pesci. I wonder how long he's been acting." And I'm now picturing the camera and the boom mic and the guy with the slate and everything, and I'm thinking so for just a second, I'm looking behind the curtain. The illusion is completely gone. They're not really in a car. It's a half a car with a blue screen behind them, and I'm thinking all these thoughts, but a second later, I'm right back to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm right back to them driving the car wherever they are in 1965 or 1942 or whenever Jake LaMotta had his reign. I'm guessing the 50s. So it's interesting how that works. I mean, like if you really, I bet a lot of our listeners think we're wherever they are.
Right.
But I think if you ever really stopped them and asked them and broke it down,
if they thought about it, you mean?
Yeah, they would tell you otherwise. Christina.
Hi, how you doing?
I don't want to ruin the illusion, though.
Okay.
Forget about being in your city. We're in the effing radio.
Okay.
That's the way I want all you to think. Oh, boy, this tweeter's in my ass, Drew.
How are you guys
tuner.
doing?
Let me out.
My question's for Dr. Drew.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we're here. I'm here.
Okay, what I want to know is a little bit about naltrexone. I've been using heroin for a while.
Yeah.
And I really want to kick and get off of it, and I just want to know the side effects.
You want to kick are you talking about the ultra rapid detoxification where they put you under anesthesia and give you naltrexone?
No, I'm talking about the pill form.
You want to take the pill and you think that's going to help you kick?
No, I'm going to outpatient detox and then take that to stay off of it.
What do you think is going to happen if you want to get high?
I'm not able to.
But what if you really want to get high?
Stop taking it?
That's right. Naltrexone doesn't do crap.
It
I mean,
doesn't?
it does while you're taking it. It'll block your opiate receptors in your brain for a day. And I'm not a that's it. You have to take it every day. You have to take it every day.
So so if you take it every day, then you're not going to want to get high, right?
No, it has not to do with not wanting to get high. Every heroin addict has incredible pain and discomfort that they have to live with for about a year. And they convince themselves if they could just have some relief for 10 minutes, they'll be okay. And so they miss their pill that morning and get some relief, and off they go. I use naltrexone. I use it sometimes in chronic relapsing alcoholics because it decreases their risk of relapse somewhat in the first 3 months of recovery. And I use it for heroin or opiate addicts who are on in their recovery, going back to the workplace. So if they become overcome by impulse, they don't get high. I use it with doctors and nurses and things. So who are around these drugs.
Sometimes put it in my Christmas tree stand to keep the tree fresh.
Yeah, that's nice. But it is not. There is no easy solution. Every heroin addict wants an easy way out there. If I could just get off the drug, I'll be fine. If I could just take the naltrexone, I'll be fine. And there is no easy solution to this addiction. It's the most serious form of addiction. It takes months and months of hard work in treatment.
Interesting name. No Traxone. Do they take Traxone?
Naltrexone.
I
What's
had
that?
started then on inpatient.
Yeah.
And I was successfully clean.
Detoxing has nothing to do with the treatment of heroin addiction. Do you understand that?
Well, it's more to do than, let's say, like rugby or something like that. I mean, there's some
Yeah,
connection.
but there's nothing
isn't
to
there?
it. Anybody can detox. But staying off the drugs and doing the recovery process is a daily hard work for many months. Once you're off the drugs, then you begin the process of the treatment. Detox is no problem. We can detox people in a few hours now with all these ultra-rapid detoxes.
Okay, so you don't.
Well, all right, let's not take all the wind out of Christina's sails. She wants to get off the junk.
She's not listening, and she is like every heroin addict, deluded into believing that if I could just get off, I'll be fine, which is the absolute untruth.
Are you shooting it?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
For everyday use for about a year.
Mhm.
But I'm 21. I started doing it when I was around 14.
You
but
need need to go spend a few months somewhere. Like
14.
a very highly structured program. It's not going to stop without that, I promise you. I've dealt with a lot of heroin addiction. And you've never had the opportunity to develop emotionally You've been loaded on drugs since you're 14. You have no coping strategies to deal with all the overwhelming feelings that come out when you're off the drugs. And you must be in a very highly structured environment in order to deal with
See,
it.
I don't have insurance, and so I can't commit myself
There are
again.
county-funded beds in almost every program.
Right, but there's someone in it. Christina.
Yes.
What do you do? Work at a video store?
No, I dance.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, don't ruin it for me. I'm never going to be able to go to strip club again.
But you never know it.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. That's why you're ruining it for me.
I bet.
I gotta think. Hold on a second, Christina.
It's an easy
This
one.
is really the biggest drawback to doing this whole show. I used to be able to go to a nudie bar and really enjoy myself. I'm thinking, ooh, she's probably some sort of Swedish au pair that's making a few bucks, snuck out of the house at night, so on and so forth. She's working on her master's degree over at Caltech or something. And then I realize when I hear these stories about, I was raped by my uncle for many years, and then I got on heroin. And now I'm seeing these dancers up there, and I want to start crying. You know, I can't enjoy it anymore because I see them as now victims
You have a
instead
heart.
And human beings, God forbid.
Human beings, God forbid.
Oh boy.
It is ruined for you.
All right, you want to gamble?
It's
Is that what you're
It's
saying?
too easy.
Is she
All right,
still
well, go ahead
there?
and call it. Yeah, she's on
sexual
hold.
abuse for a long time.
Sexual abuse?
I have a question though. Where'd she get heroin the first time?
Pardon me?
Probably one of the, she got hooked up with a 22-year-old abusive heroin addict.
Is that how you got high the
Oh,
first
that's good.
time?
No.
Who got you high the first time?
A friend.
How old was he or she?
He was an older guy.
How old?
In his 30s.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
even
right.
older.
As opposed to
What a scumbag. Did
Did
you
you have
sleep
s-
with him?
No.
No?
No.
Never?
No.
How'd you get your next fix?
Pardon me?
Did you get your next fix from the same guy?
Yeah.
Did you sleep with him then?
No. No.
This guy's an excellent individual, by the way. He's
What's
in
that
his
word? Chicken hawk or something?
he's in his
That's
30s, and he's given a 14-year-old heroin.
Yeah, this is definitely a guy I looked up to.
There is a place in hell for this guy. Although I'm guessing he's in it already, even if he's alive.
No.
Do you hate this man now?
Yeah, pretty well. I can't really put the blame on him.
But what did he
Sure
want?
you can.
Yeah,
you
sure
were
you can.
14.
What did
now
he,
you have to take responsibility. But you
What
were
did he want
14.
from you
Screw that
at 14?
guy. What an asshole.
Was he a dealer?
Well, I was looking for it really hard going down to Hollywood and unsuccessfully never scored, and he happened to use and said, well, you know, you're risking going down to these places. You know, here it is. Here it's safer.
So he was helping you. What a nice
Very
guy.
pragmatic junkie. I like that.
And what about your parents?
Who was abusing you when you were a kid?
Nobody. I've never have had a silver spoon.
Really?
No.
The silver spoon that was heated up and then drawn into a syringe? That silver spoon?
Literally, I guess, huh?
No, come on.
Really?
Where are your parents?
They're in bed.
And
You're at home. Do they know you're on heroin?
They did know last year when I went to the hospital, but they don't know I relapsed.
Uh-huh. And so your parents are still together.
Yes.
Do you remember your childhood?
Pardon me?
Do you remember your childhood?
Oh, yes, I do. I had
What-
a wonderful childhood.
You missed a lot of it.
Well,
Something happened.
Something's missing here.
Are either of your parents
there
addicts?
was a death in my family, but I can't really put the blame on that.
Who was that?
My sister.
Did you witness it?
No.
How much older or younger was she?
She was 27
How old were you?
when it happened.
Yeah.
20.
No, we're talking.
No,
something
I'm talking
happened
about
early.
before you were 14. What got you to take?
Come on,
heroin
be
for the
honest,
first time?
Christina. What went on?
Well, when I first wanted to use,
Mhm.
When you're,
when I was 14, I don't know, just the whole, it intrigued me because it was so intimidating.
What were you escaping?
Nothing. When I was 14, I was one of those wanted to try all type people.
Did you have an eating disorder?
Did I have a what?
Did you ever have an eating disorder?
No.
Can't get to the
Were you
bottom
ever
of this one,
overweight?
Christina.
No.
But I have a question for you, Dr. Drew.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible that that culturally
You can get hooked?
you can get hooked?
Oh, yes.
That you just
Oh, yes.
simply
Oh, yes, one of the
are
reasons-
infused with so many images that
Well, no, it
that's
takes
what you
more
go
than
for?
that. It's more like it has to be. You have to live in a crack house, but that
You
escape
can't
is
just
the
watch one episode of NYPD
escape
Blue
is the
and get
most
hooked.
common reason that people use drugs. But their environment, culture, peers can definitely influence people who are biologically prone. But I wonder if her dancing just became a habit, just an easy way to get money to support her heroin habit.
Guessing, Christina.
Oh, sure. No, well, you know what? No.
Because usually the dancing is sexual abuse. I mean, that's what.
I completely stopped that now because I can't even put it in the schedule at work because I don't know if I'm going to be sick or not, and so I can't go to work.
All right, but usually the dancing is part of some form of mastery of males having abused you at some
But
time.
didn't you get into the dancing to get money for heroin?
No, I was after I got out of the hospital, I was clean when I started there.
You were clean when you started dancing?
Yes.
So you'd done no dancing before you
No.
were cleaned up?
No, I no.
All right. There's a big piece of this puzzle missing. I hope there is, Drew. Otherwise, every one of your kids, the boy's going to be pimp, the girls are going to be junkies dancing for their drugs. I mean, Drew can't stand this stuff. He hates when there's no rhyme and no reason, but I know there's got to be something going on. You don't go out searching for heroin.
At 14.
At 14.
Just because.
At 14, and then you get hooked up with a guy who's 30, who's going to supply you, and you know what I mean?
Who you actually believe is being nice to you by
I mean,
giving it to you.
It's a wild,
safe
unless she has some
environment.
kind of psychotic illness or something.
All right.
Bipolar.
Well, but it is refreshing to hear that once in a while people can be effed up just because. I like that.
No.
All right, Drew won't believe it because it scares him too much. Now, when we come back, we're going to hear something off the Great Expectations soundtrack, and coincidentally, it is done by Poe.
The voices are trying to throw me off while I'm trying to concentrate on this.
Okay, you're safe.
Thank you. LoveLine will be right back.
0.1 KFMA.
Hey, Drew's got a lung coming out there. All right, it is LoveLine. If it sounds like I'm not paying attention, it's because I'm not. I'm reading this soundtrack compilation, Great Expectations. Poe is on here. Where the hell's the song? Which one are we hearing? Is it Reed? No, wait, that's Pulp. Here we go. Today. Yes. All right, so from the Great Expectations soundtrack, this is Poe performing Today.
Standing in the doorway of my life in this house, trying to find a way to get out, looking for a sign that I should open the door. This craziness is getting me down, but today's the day we break free. Today's the day we break free. Walking down the stairway to the traffic below. Anything could happen, I know. Hey, but I'm sick of everybody telling me what to do. I hear you, hey, but I already know. 'Cause today's the day we break free. Today's the day we break free. It's clear after all the time I feel my love. The sun burns like the sun doesn't shine down here. Maybe I should wait just a minute or two. It's getting cold now, I feel so insecure. The future is a mistress that is so hard to please, and the past is a pebble in my shoe. But today's the day we break free. Today's the day we break free. It's clear in my mind after all the time I feel
today off of the Great Expectations soundtrack from Poe. More good stuff from Poe. Very rangy. Did the old crooner type of song, the like 20s or 30s type of.
Roses
well, maybe it
Rose?
was even later, man, a little more swingy or whatever that Mark wrote, and now doing. I don't know how I would classify that song, but it's certainly newer than the other one. But both pulled off. That is the point. As a matter of fact, I think Poe is past the point of pulling things off.
Oh, yeah.
She's into making them work.
Delivery.
I'm fully naked.
Pulling something off would suggest that you shouldn't have been able to do it. And we don't like
Gotta
that.
be able to do it.
Darren.
Hi.
Hey, you're 29. What's going on?
Not much. Just had a question for you.
Yeah.
I haven't been laid in 9 years almost.
Wow.
That's more than a fluke,
Are you cute?
Darren.
I would say not bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Something's bad.
So how come? Was your heart broken?
I don't know. The last time was on my 21st birthday, and I'll be 30 in April.
You got to get your dad to spring for another hooker. Is what you need.
My friends talked about taking me to Nevada.
30th is coming up.
What are your beliefs about sex? Did you ever think that, you wouldn't have sex if you were married or anything like that?
No.
You ever had a relationship?
Yeah.
When was
How long?
Matter of fact, the last one was with a married woman. So I don't think there's any kind of hesitation there.
Darren, all this suggests
that far?
some serious issues with relationships, frankly. Why would you choose to be with somebody who's married?
I don't know. She kind of chose me.
Right. So you're not even out there trying to date, are you?
Well, I go to the bar every weekend. I meet lots of women. I just don't find any that...
Is it a gay bar?
No.
Oh, lesbian? No. How do you have an affair with a married woman and not have sex?
Well, that was the last one.
No, that's the last
When he was
time you had
21.
sex.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
He's just showing how
Did you
enthusiastic
did you
he is.
enjoy sex when you had it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you masturbate?
Yeah.
How often?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe...
Twice a day?
More like about twice a week.
Twice a week? Yeah. You got to get back on that.
He's incensed by people's habits.
I don't like that. All right, so we got to fix poor Darren over here. By the way, you should have called about 8.5 years ago. Drew was on the air back then.
But that's the point. He doesn't want a relationship.
Right. Here's Darren, here is the God's honest about everything and everyone. Wherever you are is where you want to be. You may not like being there. You may not enjoy being there, but
there's
it's
a reason.
where you're there because of you, and there's a reason. You can complain about it. You can offer up excuses, but ultimately, whether it's your job, whether it's your relationship or lack thereof, there's something in you that is driving you that direction. And certainly you can't argue with 9 years of being driven that direction, and so it doesn't do you any good to try to dissect society or women or the bar scene. Whatever it is, it's in you, and it's dying to get laid.
But it doesn't want a human.
Are you confident sexually? Did you feel confident when you were having
No,
sex
it's the
years
sex.
ago?
This is not a sex issue. This is a relationship issue.
No, but I'm asking specifics. I mean, does he feel he has a very small penis or something like that?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because that's not, always necessary.
To use a penis?
No, to have a big one.
Thank God. Darren, you need. Why are you scared of a relationship?
I don't know.
Where's your mom? Where's your mommy? When did she leave?
No, my parents are still married.
Your mom didn't take a crap on you?
Nope.
Really?
Very nice woman.
What happened along the way?
I don't know.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
18.
Are your parents religious?
My mom is slightly. My dad isn't really.
We're getting the same thing we got with the heroin
No,
woman
but
last call.
this one may be something far more subtle.
But I'm not saying Darren's being, combative. I just mean there's something that doesn't add up. You
Right.
love your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, these sorts of issues. I mean, people can spend months or even years in therapy figuring out where it went wrong.
Yeah, but usually when a guy is fearful of a relationship, there's this
A
direct
loss.
connection
Yeah, a loss.
to his mom.
Or a loss, a big loss.
Yeah, and usually...
Or an abandonment.
Yeah.
And so, was mom working when you were young?
She's worked as like a school lunch.
Did she raise you?
What's that?
Did she raise you?
Yeah.
She was in the home, available every day.
Yeah, she was gone in the mornings, but she was always there in the afternoons when I got home from school.
Okay. How about when you were a little kid?
Oh, yeah.
Who when you were like 0 to 2, who took care of you most of the time?
0.
Mom.
And did she work then too?
I really don't remember.
So who do you think might have taken care of you if she was at work during the day?
As far as I know, she was home. I don't know.
All right, but Darren, please don't waste our time. Did anyone ever feel you up?
No.
No. And parents are together, no trauma?
No.
Okay, well, congratulations. You're screwed up all on your own. You get together with the chick who's hustling for heroin, whose family loves her very much, and start a group of the most dysfunctional from the least dysfunctional.
Go what?
Tend to avoid the drug scene. I'd have to say no to that one.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. If some, gorgeous, well-adjusted woman made a pass at you today, would you go to bed with her?
Probably.
Probably. Why not? Yes. If it's been 9 years and you want to get laid now, why?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you could actually rape her on the first date and be thrown right out of court. I know how the law works, Drew. The judge would sit up there and he'd say, this is a crime against... bailiff, what? Oh, 9 years? Okay, case dismissed. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry it had to be you, but 9 years is 9 years. Next, he served his time in hell, this boy. All right, so Darren, something's wrong with you, and we can't figure out what it is. We've already spent almost 9 years trying to do it. So you're going to have to get into a little bit of therapy. Don't think of getting laid, though. Think in terms of why you can't be in a relationship and try to figure that one out.
All right.
But don't do it on your own. Do it with a professional, and I would suggest a female psychologist. The man needs to bond with a woman. I'm guessing... Well, first off, I know if we met Darren's mom, we'd get right to the bottom of this immediately.
yeah.
Can you see her?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
She could walk into the room and you'd go, oh, okay. All right.
Would there be a snip?
There's something, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because there's...
The quality of person, the type of person.
Right. And
it's called empathic failure.
Drew and I are like a couple of guys who work for the FAA. Planes don't just go down just because. There's something wrong. And sometimes you got to sift through the rubble for a year before you can figure it out. And it's but it wasn't God's will. There was something. There's always a reason, and we can get to it. It's just some.
So what about the Bermuda Triangle?
The Devil's Triangle? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear about
that's
that so
the devil.
much anymore. Right. Once in a while, there's. What?
We're on to other things now.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay, good.
what I'm saying is once in a while there's like the value jet thing where the canisters blew up and within the first day what happened.
Yeah.
And then there's the Flight 800 thing where they're still not sure, but eventually they get to it and they figure it out. We don't have enough time for Darren, but there's something up, and I'm guessing it leads back to Mama. That's
So the advice is make it your priority to figure this out.
right, but don't speak in terms of getting laid.
No, just get some help. Try and figure out why it's been 9 years.
Right.
I don't think they're aware of how much they suck.
Hey, that's not very nice. You kissed my mother with that mouth? I mean, your mother? LoveLine will be right back. It's LoveLine. 106.7 K-Rock.
It could have been Dad's doing, but that one I don't know. I don't buy 10 years of that.
Yeah, a lot more extreme personalities than you.
All right. All right. Let's not remember to forget that we're doing a radio show here.
We are?
No, we're done. Poe, I wish we had another hour with you.
Oh, me too.
Actually, not. I'm real tired.
When are they going to bring you back on the television?
Poe?
Yeah.
Yeah. When are you going to be back on the TV?
Whenever you send that big bad limousine for me.
I love
the big LoveLine limousine.
People thinking that I have any say at all over LoveLine, the TV show, is like people coming up to Adam West going, "Hey, about the utility belt, boy, hey, Wonder Woman, that truthful lasso you." No, I don't do. I just sit there like an idiot.
You guys are like first class, though. You send a limousine to your guests. You give great presents, like big robes that say
Oh, we do.
LoveLine on them. Yeah, you probably don't know
Well,
these
that's where those
things.
robes come from. We finally got.
Yeah, we were able to
Yeah.
steal one from the back room.
Oh, is that? You
once.
probably stole mine.
Drew one in through an air conditioning vent at night with a penlight flashlight in his mouth, and we were able to steal a couple of robes. I got an extra small. Drew got one with one arm missing, but we got him. All right, so Poe, thank you very much.
puppy.
Loungeapalooza, thank you very much for that. Yes, Great Expectations. Go out. They're both out.
They're both out.
The movie's not out, but it is out. And
CD.
In CD.
Yeah, you should also say there are a lot of other bands. Chris Cornell does a song. Tori Amos.
Yeah. We love
Verve.
Yeah. Oh, the Verve Pipe. We love those guys. Duncan Sheik's a real nice guy too, actually. Scott Weiland, Paul. Yeah. It's all
a
there.
good group.
All right.
The mono.
So, until next time, this is Adam Kroll for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been LoveLine. The opinions expressed herein are certainly opinions, that's for sure. If you'd like a written transcript of today's program, you probably should have written it down yourself. And if you did, we'd like a copy. LoveLine producer Ann Wilkins.
This broadcast was copyright 1997 Westwood One Entertainment. This music is MXPX on Tooth and Nail Records.
Sit, Obo. Obo, stop dragging your butt across the carpet.